Today we're going to start chapter 12, which is vectors. And you can see vectors are a quantity that describe two things. They describe the direction and the magnitude or the size of a situation. Magnitude or size is going to be represented in lots of different ways. Oftentimes it'll be a length, like you've gone 8 miles. Sometimes it's going to be a velocity, 3 miles per hour. Sometimes it's going to be a strength, like they pulled with a strength of so many knots or so many pounds. The weight is pounds. You're pulling in the direction of 8 pounds. So they can be represented by lots of different types of magnitudes. If we want to represent vectors for two airplanes heading northeast at 700 knots, you have to remember north, east, south, west. You may want to remember going clockwise. Never eat soggy waffles. You've got to remember which way the directions are. So if I say northeast and I don't say anything else, you need to understand when vectors are concerned that that's right in the middle at a 45-degree angle, northeast. So I've drawn vector U here, starting at any point you want, going in the northeast direction. You can see that's represented by the way the arrow is going. It's telling you that this vector is moving northeast. And I've labeled it 700 knots. That means its magnitude or its size is going to be represented by 700 knots. That's nautical miles per hour, which is a velocity for right now. So that's vector U. If I want to draw two airplanes headed that direction, I would come down and find another point, head in the northeast direction. If I wanted it to represent 700 knots, it would need to have the same size or the same magnitude. That was the 700 here. It will be 700 here. Okay, you represent vectors when you go to write them by putting a little U with a line and kind of a half arrow above them. That's telling you the direction. It's like a little half arrow. In the book, they're going to type a very bold U, which will also mean a vector, but you don't want to sit there and type a bold U every time, so we use the U with a little half arrow above it. In this particular situation, you can see this is vector U and this is vector V. Both of them have direction and magnitude. In this case, vector U equals vector V because they have the same direction and the same magnitude. They do not need to start in the same place. They just need to have the same direction and be the same length or the same magnitude. Now, I can draw another vector, vector W down here, that is also going to be represented with the same length, and it represents 700 knots. But this particular vector, vector W, is headed due east, so it does not have the same direction. W is not equal to U or V because they're not going in the same direction, but they do have the same magnitude. All right, so how can we represent just the magnitude of a vector and not the direction of a vector? Because obviously all these vectors are the same length and the same magnitude, but they're not equal because they aren't all going in the same direction. So to represent